the more.
Hello guys, welcome on Greg and Chris Let's Talk. As you can notice, I have slightly changed the background. I'm trying different angles, so bear with me. Okay, so the month of August was, let's say, productive for the Success Squad because our faves were out, they were working. Actually, that's what they know. Okay, that's what they know. They only know how to work. They only know. I mean, this fuels who they are. All right. So it was a treat for us. Yes. They were minding their business as usual. I like that really, and so let's jump into okay, the stuff. So what happened at the beginning of August was that the Success Squad was fundraising for the comfort, yes, and with the hashtag inspired, okay, inspired by Megan, um, and this was because our Duchess had her birthday on the 4th of August, and by that time the squad has succeeded in raising at least $90,000. So it was quite an achievement. And even the lady, okay, who had this wonderful idea, okay, to set up this initiative with the rest of some members of the squad, Dani, I think that's her name, Dani. She is known on Twitter as, I think, Free People. I don't want to mess up because I am not on I have an old account on Twitter. I told you this several times, so I don't go there. And I think it was a great move on my part because for what I hear coming from the squad, I mean, I think there is a big mess on Twitter. I don't have the the mental, I mean, the mental strength to go up there and to, I mean, no. I am one of the cheerleaders. That is, we are cheerleading the ladies who are frontliners. They are okay. They are, like I said on the last podcast, they are on the ring and they are fighting, and we are back. I mean, we are backing them up, boosting their efforts, and I hope it helps somehow. So, like I was saying, the Duchess had her birthday on the 4th of August. She called Danny, and on behalf of her family, that is Prince Harry, Archie, and herself, she thanked the squad. That is, she thanked us for having this marvelous idea to, you know, to kick off this fundraising to help uh, many women who, with the help of Comfort, located in mostly on the African continent, which helped many women to go to school to educate themselves in the field of journalism and two others industry or field sectors. So it was, I mean, it was crazy, when Danny posted and forwarded the message of the Duchess. Oh my goodness. I would say that really the squad showed out because when the fundraising started, within 5 hours, we were able to raise 68,000. If I have good memories, I just don't. I think it was $5,000, $5,000 within 5 hours, and then by the time I think it was mid, it was already by the time we reached the 4th of August, we were able to gather 68. I think it was 68,000, not 95, 68,000 something, $68,000. Because then after that, after the 4th of August passed, then the fundraising went on and is still going on at the moment I'm talking to you. I think we are on the 1st. We are on the 1st of September. So the fundraising is still going on till the 15th of September, because it will be Prince Harry's birthday too. So the hashtag inspired by Meghan was trending, and now it is backed by another hashtag inspired by Harry. And under this hashtag, okay, during 1 month now, during the whole month of August until now, the couple was, all their initiatives, okay, the inspiring, efforts were part of, you know, were part of the efforts and the promotion to fundraise this. That is, many of us made, they use their own platforms, yes, to not only promote, yes, but to let's say to give a tribute, okay, and to remind those who maybe forgot and those who didn't know all the achievements, okay, of Harry and Meghan since they came together as a couple. So okay, so the fundraising is updated, I think, weekly by Comfort, and by now the squad 105, yes, $105,000. I don't want to, the thing is that the numbers, okay, it is still counting. That's why I might look a little bit confused, because it is still adding, okay, people are still donating. So at the moment I'm talking to you, we are at why do I say 1.5? Maybe it's a wish. 1.5 million, why not? So it's 105,000 at the moment I'm talking to you, okay, but it is still counting. So by the time I'm ending this podcast, we might reach suddenly 110,000. With the squad, everything is possible. So let's move on. Of course, after the 8 minutes of call that Meghan did to Danny, and Danny, she forwarded the message, the thankful message of the Duchess. It came as a boost for all of us. It was really a boost, because we know that they know. Okay, we know that our faves know. Okay, they have friends who will forward the message. I'm sure that our lady, our girl, she doesn't waste her time, on but I'm sure that Harry came across this first, and then he told his wife too. And of course, it was said that friends, yes, they tagged Meghan to let her know about the fundraising. Anyway, at the end of the day, she is happy. She's grateful. We are happy for her. We are happy that she's happy. So so everybody in the squad is happy. Okay, it was an exciting. That was just like, yes. On the following day, then there were breaking news. Meghan, in the suit that Meghan filed, it was about the fact that the Moon, yes, the Moon published a personal letter that she sent to the sperm donor, and I mean, she was suing them for, you know, breach of copyright. And then they dragged this thing. I mean, when I say they, I mean the Moon's team dragged this thing to some, you know, endless nonsensical things. Like, for example, why, you know, it will be good if we know exactly why was she vulnerable at the time. I mean, you remember those crazy questions that, okay, just to make her speak more, okay, and to monetize everything that she will say, okay. And then after this, they started kind of, let's say, threatening, because there is this undertone stress, okay. Let's not BS ourselves. They were The Moon's team, okay, started kind of, let's say, blackmailing and threatening, okay, to publish the names of the 5 friends that went on to People's Magazine to tell and who testified that actually Meghan was in contact with the sperm donor. Yes, and she never knew that they were there. I mean, as she said in the court statement, okay, she knew this after the facts, because it's only after that they told her. It's not as if she sent them. Okay, and then, you know, the Moon wanted to exploit this, okay, to sell more things, because I think for them it's just like, okay, since we are in the mess, let's make this mess profitable for us, okay. So Meghan filed a dismissal of this not a dismissal, but it was like, let's say, a warning, okay, a court warning to the Moon that they should not publish, okay, the name of those friends, because those friends are private citizens, okay, they have their own lives. And the end game of this, if there is any game, okay, we are sure that the Sussexes are not part of that game, okay. Harry told us this already. So, but the end game for the Moon was to exploit this, okay, and to sell. You know that now they are facing some crisis, okay, in the British media. So if they have to, you know, to sell I mean, your trash, I mean, if they have to dig your I mean, your dustbin, okay, and to sell everything that is inside there, okay, at least to make some money out of it, as if they were lacking. But anyway, I'm digressing. So the court backed Meghan request, okay, not to publish the name of her friends, because they are private citizens. And if this is the case, because that's the disgusting part of this step taken by the Moon. You want to know, or let's say that you want to publish the name of the other side sources, but you don't want to publish the name of your own sources. So I really do believe that the Sun is still in, you know, in this period of their maybe magazine history, where they could blackmail and destroy people without any accountability. And the thing is that we are on the verge of the 22nd century, if I can express myself that way. So you cannot just think that you blackmail people and you just go without any accountability. This is not 1997, okay. So when the Moon threatened to publish the names, they should be ready, logically ready, okay, that the other side, okay, the other parties will also ask for your own sources. Anyway, this part was longly debated. The end result is that, okay, the court aligned with the request of Meghan. This, okay, this was enough for us. During the month of August, Prince Harry had an interview with the CEO of Color for Change. Oh, sorry, Color of Change. Yes, Color of Change. And the Color of Change is an organization dedicated on how to change the narrative about colors, okay, in general. So the CEO is Rashad Robinson. It's a young CEO, yes, but he has a purpose, you know, and I think his purpose is honorable, because when it comes to, you know that in US, the topic of racial discrimination, racial divisiveness, it's sometimes I think that some people need to keep this topic alive. When I say need to keep the topic alive, I'm talking about the divisiveness, the discrimination. They need to keep this alive, because I think without it, I think it was Maya Angelou who said, "What are you without your racism?" I think she's the one who said that. Unless it's Mrs. Robinson, I just don't remember, but I remember that it was a black lady who said that, "What are you without your racism?" So you need to cling to something, okay, to justify your hatred. So that's why, it's that hatred feeling is unjustifiable, unexplainable, and but remember that those who like to nurture it are full of ignorance and fear. As I'm saying this, I just remember, I think in one of, I don't remember, a lady, she's new on YouTube. I don't remember, I think it's Ivy on Megan Pager. And she was using James Baldwin quotes. If your hatred is removed, then you will have to face the pain. And at that moment, she was talking about the sister-in-law of Harry. So it's actually the same thing with, I concur with that quote, because if people have nothing to hate, or no one to hate, what would they be? No. Anyway, we live in an environment where people are more and more mentally weak, and I'm not talking here about mental health in the way we are, let's say, genuinely talking about it because we care. Okay, what I mean is that people who fall for free hatred are people who are so, when I say mentally weak, I mean they lack confidence in themselves. Okay, they are full of prejudices, and at the end of the day, they are full of, so let's say, complexes. They have this inferiority complex and this insecurity. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. And because of their insecurity, they react by, they react with violence. It might be a topic for another day, but this is my opinion. Okay, that it should be the one, okay, to I mean, that people in higher positions should use their position to and their access to actually do the work of, you know, fighting anti-racism. Okay, because it's not enough to just say that I'm not racist. Okay, you should even promote the anti-racism. That is any passive, aggressive, racial comment, action. This is a cancer. It's a disease that in itself you must reject it. It should be just like, you know, a mosquito biting you, and before you realize what is going on, you slap the, you know, the hell out of it. This is how you should react, you know, when it comes to the topic of racial discrimination and injustices. Simple as that. So Prince Harry made this comment. No, it was aligning with another comment that he did. I don't remember if it was in during the month of July, when he was saying that yes, there is someone somewhere who benefits, okay, from the injustices and the discrimination. This is something that we know, okay, but it's good when it comes from someone in his position, okay, who could actually how I'm looking for the right verb, who could experience, okay, firsthand what someone from the other end who is not Caucasian feels or is treated by Caucasian people, let's say by some Caucasian people, in some, you know, specific elitist places. You know, he could experience this firsthand. His wife, right there. So what I appreciate about what Harry is doing is that he is learning, okay, without shouting it, you know, over roofs. He is on the path of learning, and it is always, you know, Harry has always been this go-getter guy. Okay, if there is something that he can't crack up, he will just go knocking and knocking and knocking until he gets it. That's the kind of person that I think, I mean, that is always how he appeared to me since he's a little boy, you know. So I do sincerely think that when it comes to this part of, you know, uh, taboo topics, Prince Harry is he's not the he's not the kind of guy who will hide for protocol nonsensical purpose. He wants to understand, he wants to you know, and you know, when you want to understand, you are already showing empathy, and this is something that is honorable. Really, I insist again, coming from someone from his status, because whether he wanted it or not, he's coming from this part of the society who on which always see other people as inferior, okay, and they don't make any effort in learning until they are stuck in a corner, okay, and they have no other resources. So we can say that that conversation with Rashad Robinson was productive, because I'm still talking about the fundraising, because you know it was kicked off 6 weeks ago, and yes, the campaign is huge and the people are donating, and you know, it's inspiring. It's inspiring because when I made my calculation, I saw that this, if I remember the first information about the fundraising, this could help each woman, you know, for an amount of $3,000 to be schooled for at least for 1 year, okay, in the fields, in one of the 3 fields. I just remember journalism, but I don't know why I can't remember the 2 others, but they were also, you know, worth mentioning. and I'm sorry for that, for not remembering, I meant. So if we were already able by the time to raise almost $90,000 by the mid-August, I could already see at least 40 ladies going to school for a full year. Women, mostly African ladies, they are hardworking women, and they don't wait by for someone to come, and tell them what to do. They always, they always have their brain running, okay, thinking about the way to, you know, bring up their families, whether there is a father there or not. So it is, it is in their genes. So they will always, they are entrepreneurs at heart. I mean, they have this strong sense of entrepreneurship. And I know this because, in my country, 95% of professional, or if I can put it, industries in my country are run by entrepreneurs. So we scarcely rely on whatever the government will do. No one expects any from a corrupt government. We don't actually really care. The only thing that we hope is that they can, it's just like we reach that point where we say, okay, if, for example, our leaders, if you can call them that way, okay, want to stay there in power for decades, the only thing that we are asking them is peace in the country. We don't want any war in our country. So, okay, we are dealing with our stuff, and that's it. So yeah, Omi Scobie's book, okay, was officially out. By the way, guys, I told you on my last in my last podcast, sorry, that I did not yet receive mine. So finally I got it. I was finally delivered my book. So I have 2 readings to do. I have Our Faves to do, okay, and I have this crook, okay. So later we will talk about the Find Your Freedom. I mean, there were wonderful podcasts made by, I mean, some of the squad members gave reviews. Also, you had Professor Menard, and then you had the ladies from a Duchess like us who did a convo on that. And then last week, V from Sussexes did, I mean, she always does a wonderful thing. So she did a wonderful review. I listened to her podcast, and I was just like, do I need to review the book again? She did it so well. But then I came to the conclusion that, wait a minute, we read and we come out of it with maybe basically the common conclusion, but during the process we have mixed feelings about the reading. So I told myself, okay, I will still read it and I will talk a little bit about that. I will just tell you how I felt, okay, or how, yes, when I read the book, although I've not yet read it, I mean, now I've not yet read it, I've just received it. So, and I will tell you I will give you my take on that. Before it was out, people in the British media were already fighting against the publication, against one of the authors. I hate that. I mean, I am irritated at the thought that 2 people supposedly wrote the book, but only one defended the book from the beginning till until today. Only one of the two authors came out, okay, to defend it, while the other one was saving her behind. Anyway, maybe she'll come one day out to tell us why she never opened her mouth. Remember that the most important for that other section of the population is to keep their comfort, okay? It is all about keeping their comfort and privileges and not to be marginalized by the rest of their counterparts. And Ome Scobie, let's say that he has kind of nothing to lose, okay? Although he has a young boy face, I don't think that he is younger. So I think at this point of his life, he has nothing to lose. I don't think that he's just doing journalism, okay? So he has, anyway, what I see is that he has some integrity, okay? What I admire is his fairness. He didn't go one way or the other. I think that he reported as it was. So it's up to you to come out with your own, with your own conclusion. But when we look at the kind of backlash that he received, and he's still receiving now, it means that it was not biased enough according to his haters, which are who turned out also to be Sussexes haters. So he made an interview, in the mid-August, where he was debunking, many headlines regarding that book. What he said as a general view during that interview was that misogyny, sexism, and racism were most of the main factors to have been the cause of the Sussexes departures. But that one we already knew, okay? We could even add to the misogyny, sexism, and the racism. We can add classism, snobism, all the ism, okay? We're just there. We can talk xenophobia, fascism too. So that one we already knew in the squad. But it's good to, it's good to double down on that. So the good thing also that we could notice during this month was that we could witness Harry speaking his mind. That man, because we have to stop saying that boy, he's no more a boy, he's a father, is that bird, okay, that they put in a cage, okay, and they tighten his wings, okay, so that he couldn't, but he broke these shackles, okay? Now he's speaking his mind, okay? He is in a country where, and he is in an environment where using your voice is the only option. It is literally the only option to use your voice. So I don't want him to speak. Always, they try to make their voice louder than his by reminding people that he was just, okay, the sixth in line. He was the guy who was supposed to, hold his sister-in-law veil, and shovel the path for his for his brother Omid. So he said many things. I just saw extracts of that interview, but he spoke at least for 2 minutes, if I remember well. He was talking about the fact that there was no support from Harry's sister-in-law, okay? There was no support from her, from Meghan, yes. And Meghan was a newcomer, and Harry's sister-in-law was there for 9 years, officially 9 years, because if you have to add the 10 years of chasing, we can say that she has been around that family for 19 years. Gosh, it's not 19 minutes. For 19 good years, she has been around that royal family. So she was no more a newcomer there. And he also spoke about the fact that the family had dissension, dissension, and that is, I mean, differences, and between Harry and the rest of the institution. That one we also knew. Okay, we also knew it was debated and it was dissected. It was dissected by, I mean, all Social Squad platforms. So I have nothing more to say about that we didn't know yet. And Omi said that he based the book on the 100 interviews that he had, or that he has had with people close to the Sussexes, and to also to the institution. Okay, so what do we learn? What did we learn during the month of August? We learned that Harry and Meghan, they moved to their own home in Santa Barbara. That was the highlighted topics of August. Why? Because while the British media, who supposedly have decided not to cover the Sussexes, while they were still, analyzing, x-raying the house of Mr. Perry. Oh, you know that it hurts them, okay? It hurts them that Meghan has rich friends. It hurts them that, actually it hurts them just to imagine that she's enjoying good things. She's even enjoying peace with her family. How dare she? So they were talking in the trash plate thing about how, okay, the house was big, and it was costing million. Is it your million? Is it the British taxpayers cents? Anyway, why they were babbling like this, it came out that wait a minute, the Sussexes have they have moved 6 weeks ago, so it means around mid-June. They have moved 6 weeks ago in their new home, not a rented stuff, into their new homes. The shock, I mean, the shock. When I heard that, as a Social Squad, we were happy. Okay, we were happy. Oh my goodness, they had for the first time their own home. You know that, okay, in UK they were tenants, and they were in the former helps quarter. No, I mean quarters, as they call it there. That is in the helps quarter. That is the type of house where in the old days, okay, the maids were staying, and then they had to walk some kilometers early in the morning to go and fetch waters for their masters up there. So that's why you have Frogmore Cottage and you have Frogmore House. The cottage was for the maids. So it's there that Harry and Meghan were renting. I would call it renting because although it was said that it was gifted to them, and the British taxpayer almost lost his or her sleep over the fact that they were renting on royal soils. The Sussexes, before they left, okay, they paid for the renovation that were incurred with the taxpayers' money, because, and they paid it from their own pocket. Okay, they didn't take money from anyone, okay, to reimburse it, and they were not even asked to reimburse the money. But really, I like the way they did it, because that is how I live my life. If I told you this, if I owe something to someone, okay, and I genuinely know that, okay, and I am working, okay, my behind to cover this, but then you come after and you tell me that, oh, if not without me, you won't be in this position, or you won't be in this, or when previously we had no problem, but when you keep telling me this, my goodness, although I have paid my debts maybe decades ago, I will ask you, how much do you want again? Just not to pound around, and if you just give me the amount, I will pay you, and I will just draw a line and cut you off, just delete you from my memory, because there was at the beginning no excuse for you to come and you understand what I mean? So they just, I mean, the Sussexes just reimbursed everything. Okay, they paid the until the last, for, I mean, let me take it back a little bit. They were gifted the house, I mean, not the house, they were gifted the cottage, and that cottage I think had 5 rooms. If you say 5 rooms, it means one room for them, maybe one room for any visitor, I guess, or a future child, a dining room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. That's it. But then it, I mean, people made a fuse out of it, and that cottage was completely damaged because no one was living there. So there was a cost that was allocated to them, okay, for the renovation. And if they wanted something else there, okay, the Sussexes added from their own pockets. But when they left, okay, they reimbursed the money of the repairs, that were incurred. They just reimbursed it, and I can say that they even gifted also the money that they removed from their own pocket to add whatever they wanted to add in their house. So they double paid that house. That cottage, they double paid the cottage, and they did not even use it for even 1 year and a half, because they moved into that cottage before Megan gave birth, and then before Archie had even 1 year, they already left the country. So my friend, it was a happy day for me, to learn that they have bought their own home. And this is a big slap to those who, unreasonably and unjustifiably hate them. It's a big slap, because, it means that they made some inquiries, okay? They searched for a house, no one knew. They visited certain many houses, no one knew. They finally found a house, and they decided to take that house, to buy that house. No one knew. They signed all the papers. No one knew. They furnished the home. They furnished that house so that it becomes their home. No one knew. And then they moved out from Mr. Perry's house to that home. No one knew. So my friend, I think it was part of the frustration of the G-Rangers, or whatever they want to call themselves. I mean, I laughed that day. It was a very good day for me that day, really. Because also, I don't remember if it's V who said that for the first time, Harry will have to pay bills. he will receive bills. Not that he has never paid any bills in his life. I'm sure that when he was in Africa, then if he was drinking a buck of beer, he certainly paid with coins. So But for the first time, he's receiving, electricity bill, gas bill, water bill. He has a mortgage because they took the house, they bought the house, and the house is on mortgage. So, I mean, he fought his way. His mother, you know, she is all the way with him, and he was able to turn his life around and for good. Gosh, we are just happy for our brother. We are happy for our son. You know? So I was worried about what he would become in life when he was a teenager. I'm happy. He turned, the guy turned to be a man. So, high five. Bath. Let's move on. So after all the turmoil that purchase of the house brought, gosh, my prayer was that at first, yes, I just told myself congratulations to them, congratulations for the purchase, and I wished that, and I wish also for them in the future that they build, a lot of memories in that house, that happy family time memories, if you understand what I mean. Yes, and in this for the years to come, we could see how we come to that, because you have also we had a glimpse of the backyard of the house, when Megan was having this conversation with Gloria. Megan was one of the 100 women that have been asked by Marie Claire to talk about the importance of voting. She did what she has always done since she's a little girl. She was encouraging women to use their voices. Megan advocated, she advocated for the right of women to vote. Okay, this has nothing political about that. It's a right. You have the right to eat. It's not political. You have the right to live. It's not political. You have the right, to do whatever you want with your life at the moment that you don't endanger someone else's life. Okay, it's your right. It has nothing political about that. At the moment that you have a right, what's political about that? Every time the haters are saying that I have the right to voice my opinion, although it's not an opinion, but the person has that right, okay, to open his or her mouth, even if it's just to say filthy things. Okay, it is the right of the person as a human being. But if they want to turn it kind of political, it means that when you are actually voicing your opinion, you are politicizing your point of view. Is it what you mean? So everything always come back to the fact that before people start criticizing, okay, I know it's hard for this type of people to put themselves in the shoes of the person that they are bullying, because they don't even have the mental fortitude to do that. So my stance when it comes to talking about low life people. I think that the fact that Marie Claire asked 100 women, not 101 or 99 women only, is because they wanted to celebrate the 100 years anniversary of the women's right to vote. I would say, although, as like Megan said a few days ago, not all women had that right. Mostly black women and biracial women, and I don't like to say people of color, it sounds rainbow. Anyway, that's my take. So although non-Caucasian women were only allowed to vote decades after. And when I say decades after, I think it was 40 or 50 years after the original right to vote was passed, for women to vote. Then non-Caucasian women were allowed to vote only 40 or 50 years after that. And it's because they marched. It was because of civil rights. It was because of, if not because of that, we will be in this moment of time where women, or let's say when non-Caucasian women will not be allowed to vote. That's crazy, really. It's so we are talking here about rights. It has nothing political about that. I think, as usual, people to feel relevant, to feel kind of alive in their warmy environment. And when I talk about warmy, I think about the worms. The worms are actually useful because you can use them to fish, when you are doing fishing. But anyway, you got my thoughts. So after that, after what Megan said about the right of women to vote, it was you could find it on Marie Claire. But of course, out of the 99 other people, the non-people or the nobodies had to pick out, as what they usually do. As this is what they usually do. They had to pick out Megan out of 100 women to start saying that she's political, she's sounding political. What I like is that they kept saying this, and when Megan had a few days ago another meeting online, also about the fact that people should vote, mostly in the United States. Nowadays there is a rise of fascism and neo-Nazism in US at the moment, and that's real. The right to vote is more than ever a must. We are no more at the level of should. It's a must. So she, as an American lady, encouraged and is encouraging, everybody, and mostly women, to go out and vote because it's their rights. But some people, then remember that, wait a minute, she has titles, so she should not talk about that. When they were actually almost rioting on the streets of United Kingdom, that they were stripped of their title, that they should not use HRA or HR whatever, HRH, and then you remembered, oh, wait a minute, she can't talk about that because she is a royal. Oh, so now she's a royal. Really? After all the meltdown that you had, I thought that I guess, in the social squad, thought that you guys have already stripped her, and strip her because your main problem is not Harry. So no one is talking about removing or stripping Harry from his royal title, although they tried with the military titles. But they knew that they can remove it from Meghan. She doesn't actually care. She came without that. She came with the crowns of her ancestors. And this is a crown which was there before the monarchy and which will be there after the monarchy. So she came with that crown, and they know that anyway, if we remove this artificial title, it won't bother her. So I mean, the haters were just like, no, she must not talk about voting because it's political. What I like, okay, is that someone like, for example, Omid, he didn't say a word. What he did is that he took a speech made by the Queen in 2003, encouraging people from England, I think, and Wales and whatever other places in UK to come out and vote because it was important and it was their right. He just pasted that. He just pasted that speech. I think he's on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, but I saw a screenshot, I think from Megan Pager or from HM Listen, I don't remember. You know, a picture that says 1,000 and a million words. And it just, I saw the immediate response also of someone who said that, oh, we always knew that you were the Sussexes spokesperson. How miserable, guys, these people can be. So for them, they are so fantasizing, okay, over the Sussexes and mostly Meghan being out there without, wait, I will put it in the right British English, be out there destitute, stripped of everything, and almost non-existing. I knew via the podcast of Tina and Michelle, Sussex Squad podcast, that there was a sellout. Of course, there is always a sellout somewhere. There is always that one person, okay, that like to mingle with the pigs in the mud. So I learned that the guy from the British Vogue, to have the Queen featuring on the page of his magazine, had to sell out Meghan. What I would say might sound controversial to most of you, and maybe very unpopular. If you have watched most of my first videos, I told you that I have a problem. I have an intrinsic and, let's say, moral problem with black men. If they have to sell you out to have their happiness, the majority, I'm not saying all, but a big majority of them would not hesitate. Of course, it happens a lot when a black woman is in the picture. But I will avoid that is the first time that I see a black man throwing a biracial, let's say, clear skin tone women, or clear skin tone, under the bus. For what? Just being already a British editor, just being a chief executive or editor of a British magazine like this is already a huge achievement. But like, the niece of Trump wrote in the title of her book, it's too much and never enough. My friends, a woman who put you on the stage, or who put your magazine on the global stage, she made you have a record-selling book, or I will say magazine, since the creation of the that magazine you are working for, a woman who always went out of her way to congratulate you every time that the same issue had an award, or that you had, and that, or that you were awarded something because of the magazine. Let's face it, that magazine had at least 2 awards, and 2 times Megan wrote a congratulation note. My goodness, you, I mean, I hope that after what you did, and after having the Queen of UK featuring on your magazine, I hope that this will be the last achievement of your career, because if you are still looking for something else, somehow I am not surprised by a black man doing that, but I am disappointed at someone being so ungrateful that he did what he did, whether he be a Caucasian or another color. That ungratefulness and the temporary amnesia that he had, just because he wanted to get the oldest living monarch on his, on the first page of his magazine. It really, when you see that, you just want to vomit in your mouth. It is so disappointing. I'm just somehow glad that that the only purchase that I did from that British book was the one that our Duchess took part in, because after that you won't see me spending my money again to buy a British Vogue. The line is being drawn. That's it. Even talking about that, I'm just disgusted. So after he told Alpha Hirsch that the big issues which made Harry and Meghan leaving was racism. That racism played a big part in that. After saying this, then during the month of August, he changed his mind. Oh, actually, if it happens, it's because Meghan didn't know the rule. She didn't follow the rules or something in those words. And before we even realize, why is it, how come can you say that it's not true? Before we realized, we knew that actually he was about to have the Queen featuring on the first page of his, that same featuring that Meghan was accused of doing, although she did not even appear on the, on the magazine. Anyway, we know the double standards, okay? So let's move on. Also more than 3 minutes. I told you once that Megan Picture had some few section on YouTube, but they are going global now. They are doing podcasts, and I will be featuring in an upcoming podcast of Megan Picture. I'm honored to be part of that. Megan Picture had this initiative of making a French podcast. There are many French-speaking people in the squad, and for many months now, it was. I remember that Michelle talked about that once. Michelle from a Sussex Squad podcast. That yes, what about a podcast in French? I think that would be nice. I think so. It would be wonderful if we could come up with a convo, but I like the different formats, and there is always something new to learn. And Megan Peja is all about, wow, teaching something new. It is a great website, and it's a purposeful website, and I really really do like it, because I always tell myself, when I think about Megan and Page, I always tell myself, in 20, 30, 40 years from now, people will be able to go on a specific website and have all the infos that they want. Everything that they want, that about regarding Megan, not something prefabricated by the media, not as if she was a cult or whatever, no, but full information, everything that, for example, these people for the past 4 years try to undermine, to erase from the life of that woman. No one even, people are just discovering that she has been involved into charities. She has taken initiatives since her young age. When she was 10 years old, she was already advocating against the Gulf War. I just like the fact that there is, an online library, if I can put it that way, about her. No. But hey, I hope I'm not burning bridges by telling you this. So let's move on. So I welcome Special K from Megan's Word, and we had Ivy from Megan Peja. And really, it's all about, growing the network, growing. It's not, the squad is smart. Okay, we have very smart people in the squad. It is informative, it is entertaining. It is, we even have a bit of history. Show, for example, a Daughters Like Us, when the ladies gathered, they talk about the political environment, the historical environment. It's a mix of these, and that's inspiring and powerful, and it's everything that the haters hate and keep hating and will still know. So I'm happy to be part of these big families. So let's move on with Harry, because I like to swing it, and I think that is also what they do. Okay, it's not just one person for a full week. They are mixing. This today is Megan, tomorrow is Harry, the following day is Megan, the other day is Harry. And we are still in that lockdown in US. Can you imagine how it would be when they'll be finally able to go out? It means next year. Sorry if I cross my fingers. I was just thinking about, by next year, when they'll be able to already be out, the 1 year review will have passed. Sorry. Yeah, my thoughts are everywhere. Okay, so Harry, oh my goodness, Harry featured during this month in a documentary, and the documentary itself was on the 26th of August, and it was called Rising Phoenix. It's about athletes. When I say athletes, it's a documentary about the Paralympics, and many athletes were also talking about their stories, telling their stories. They were telling their stories, and this is a comfort zone also to Ari, because if you remember, he's the founder of the We Are the Invictus, or the Invictus games, and it's about wounded veterans. It's about people who thought that they will never achieve anything in life because of their disabilities, and then something that was kind of tragic, I I don't know if I can use that word, turn out to, to be something good. You see those people are overcoming their struggles, their pain, they are surpassing themselves, they are warriors. You are just like, gosh, I am complaining about what? I always had this thought in mind that, when you are complaining, not just a thought, but there is a say, that instead of whining, okay, ask yourself how is going on with your neighbor. Because his case, if you let him or her speak, you will see that your case is nothing in comparison. So, you watch the documentary, it's on Netflix, and he was already out on 26th of August. You can find it there. You are just at the end of the documentary. I think somehow you are humbled by the stories. You are humbled by the visual. You are just humbled to be healthier, if I can put it that way, physically healthier. And maybe you start thinking about doing something of your life. So guys, tell me what you thought about the documentary in the comments, please. So we could on IG I saw many athletes were also giving their testimonies about how involved Harry is with the games. And and we know that he was one of the people contributing to the film, because he wanted the movie or the documentary to be a way to teach to people, or let's say it was, how can I put that? It was another way to make people change their minds. That is, to make people change the way they see people with disabilities, and that yes, if they also had their own incredible stories to tell, they were welcome to do that. So it was, we were all out there, many people in the square were all out there to encourage, watching the movie. And also that it is also part of the Inspired by Harry. Okay, it is part of what he believes in and what makes him the man that he is. So then we moved on to, still because it was the celebration of the 100th year anniversary of the of women's right to vote. We had the 19th. There was that virtual conference called the 19 Represents. I signed up more than, the count, it was full. Okay, you had to sign up. You had to sign up in advance, days in advance, because that day there were 10,000 people online in that conference. It was packed. It was packed. And to take part into that, and I found it so, and actually it collided with the nomination of the Senator Kamala Harris for as a vice president nominee for Joe Biden in US for the upcoming American election in November of this year 2020. And Kamala Harris was interviewed. I really liked that conference thing because we had to, wonderful conversation. I watched the conversation, the interview of Kamala Harris. I watched the interview with that lady who wrote the book about white fragility, she was also there, and they were interviewed by Holly from The View. uh, and I mean, the conversation was so informative, you know, and so not only informative, but many people could recognize themselves, because we're talking about what people call the Karens, you know, that is, those ladies, those Caucasian ladies who, at this point, we should not call them ladies, because they are so unladylike when they perform, because it's a whole performance. Okay, the like the Amy Cooper thing. Okay, the woman who called and she took a victimized voice to say that a black woman was assaulting her. You know, but the guy was making a video and he posted it online so that people could see. Okay, that is when you call. That is when a Caucasian lady called, a Caucasian woman called the police, knowing exactly what would be the conclusion of that encounter between the police and a black person in US. It is so ridiculous to think about, and wicked even, to think about calling the police for what? Oh, I see a woman in my neighborhood, she's not supposed to be here. Or I see a man there, he looks suspicious, he's a black man. And you're just like, I mean, oh gosh, sometimes I think about, the eye for an eye thing. But then I remember that former first lady's voice saying, when they go low, we go high. And I'm just like, you know. So, okay. And then we had Megan, who also participated in 2019, and she was actually, the author of the book was D'Angelo. Dr. D'Angelo, and she wrote, I think she wrote, yes, white fragility or white privilege. She wrote white privilege. Let me check my notes, please. Wait. She was talking. Oh, Dr. D'Angelo, indeed. Dr. D'Angelo, the author of White Privilege. And she was exchanging ideas with Dr. Brittany Cooper. And they were talking, yes, about this entitlement that some, I don't want to say all, that some Caucasian people have. They know that they have this privilege, okay? They are, most of those Caucasian like to use it. It makes their life comfortable. But for the life of me, I can't really understand why someone would want to have a great life, a stressless life, and makes sure that people who do not look, or who look different, they don't have the same privilege. I mean, what do they expect? It's like, okay, it's like you having a basket of apple and eating them next to someone who has not even seen a drop of water for days. I'm not even talking about eating. And you think that the person will not react when you are actually eating in front of the person in purpose, on purpose, that okay. And then if the person reacts, you will be the one to play the victims. Anyway, I think I'm digressing. So we had, during the 19th Represent virtual conference, we had our Duchess playing the role of a journalist, I saw the shade there. She was, her questions were well put. She focused on, you know, what the CEO and the staff of the 19th were doing. Okay, she was so focused there. Although at the point, Emily, the CEO, she turned the table and she asked two questions to Megan. Oh, Megan handled it. She swelled, but she answered the question. I will say that the fact that she was interviewing was not a surprise really for me. I mean, I remember that when Megan had the tick, she used to interview people for her blog. I remember vividly that she interviewed even Ivanka Trump. And it's just that she hasn't done it for the past 4 years. You know, she had to close everything. And she's just catching up with whatever she has left behind. And I'm really happy. No, she, I mean, it's not as if it was the first time that she was interviewing someone. Maybe on the global stage it was the first time ever, but to have the articles that she had in her blog, she used to interview people. So yes, I mean it. Sorry for the flips of the pages. It is part of the monthly review. So yes, so Megan, yes, she answered the question, and she made sure that her answer was related to you know, the 100 years anniversary of the women's right to vote. And she talked about the patriarchal land that was the UK at the time, and she was talking about what, 1906, because the women's right was passed in 1920. So until then, the suffragette, that is the women who were on the street of United Kingdom, okay, they were also marching you know, for their right to vote. So she made a little history. So Megan told a little history about the fact that it was a patriarchal, yes, at the time it was a patriarchal land at the time, and the fact that the misogyny of British men at the time actually helped, maybe unwillingly on their part, not maybe unwillingly on their part, helped to shape the movement of the suffragette. So she also talked about the toxicity of you know, in the media platforms, which influence how people interact with one another. That one we already know. We can witness it almost every day on you know, on all platforms supporting, and all charities. When I say platform, I also count the charities supporting the Sussexes. I mean, that's crazy. You see people going out of their way, okay, to go and threaten charities. So, and then she said, you know, that it's good to be home. And that sentence made our day in the squad, you know. It was really good to be home. There is nothing like home, you know. You might be, your home might be maybe on fire, but still it's your home. You know, she's an American, and although US is in the mess now, there's nothing like home. And I was proud to hear her say that. I knew that people would feel it like, you know, a knife twisting in the wound that in the wound of the fact that they left, okay? She slapped the door on the face of, you know, those who thought that she would stay for the tiaras, okay? And she just, with her green cape, she just left into the future. Oh gosh. Ah. So next. Uh, so Megan kicked off the, yes, she kicked off uh, the website, When We All Vote couch. Yes, there was not a website, but there was a virtual, let's say, couch. And unfortunately, I didn't have time to sign up. I didn't have time to sign up, and but I just saw the aftermath of that, and it was a party, a party. So, and during that, she said, she said that when I will actually read what she said. She said, I will put it like this. So she said, when I think about voting and why this is so exceptionally important for all of us, I will frame it as it is. So I will frame it as we vote to honor those who came before us and to protect who will come after us. Gosh. And the British media went mad. But there is nothing new there. What is new is that, as they were saying that she's royal, okay, she's not supposed to intervene into political stuff, my friends, do you know what happened? American people went online and they grilled these British gossipers, this British gossip. They grill the trash bloid of UK and every other media owned by Murdoch. That, my friend, when she was in UK, you said, okay, you told her to go back to where she was coming from, okay, you told her this, she went back, and now that she's in her country, you come here to tell her that she should not be involved into the social topics of her country. Are you mad? So so for 1 week they were dragged. For what I heard on Twitter, they were dragged. What I saw, the image that I saw was, when during the X-Men, when Hulk grabbed Loki and and he just knocked, the heck out of Loki. So that's how I saw the thing. That is how the British media was treated on Twitter. And okay, they understood that here we are actually taking the wrong battle. So it seems that they left. Anyway, it is always good with me. So what else? So Harry and Meghan also had a virtual discussion with the leaders of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. So it was about social media, it was about the role of the online world and as a force of good, how to use the online world as a force of good, as a force for good, yes, and the profound difference online communities can make to lives over generations in the future. So during that discussion, we had Australia, UK, we had Zambia, and although Meghan was saying that yes, she was proud to carry out the legacy of the Queen, and I don't know, I think Like Tina, I've been so traumatized by what happened to the Sussexes that although I didn't want to leave it on a daily basis when they were there, now I don't even want to share anything about whatever is going on in that institution. Who in that institution is doing what? I mean, I just unwillingly. No, it's unfortunate, but I feel so. No, when she was talking about that, yes, she was talking about that, and I didn't even want her to talk about that. But Megan, she's better than most of us. So, because if I remove you from my system, that's it. I have to remove you from my system. Simple as that. So, what can I say? She's a very good ambassador. She spoke about the work that the QCT is doing. I mean, by QCT, I mean Queen Commonwealth Trust. So the QCT is doing the fact that they are using their platform for good, and there was a discussion last Sunday. I mean, 2 days ago, because we are on Tuesday now. 2 days ago, on the Success Squad podcast, Tina. At the moment, someone asked if Queen Commonwealth Trust was a Harry making, and I don't know who said no, it's the Queen who did it. She may have done something, but it was not impactful. Okay, the Commonwealth was mostly a kind of can I say political organization. It to be like a United Nation and all this stuff. And yes, it was a way to gather all the British colony and countries which wanted willingly to join the Commonwealth Trust because of trade advantages and benefits. Like my country, that's what my country did. We willingly joined the Commonwealth because of trade benefits. I don't know how it benefits us on the trade, because we export a lot, we import not so much, so, and not from UK. So anyway, what I mean is that when it comes to the Commonwealth, that's what it means. Okay, it is countries which share, for example, English as a common language, and who can trade easily with other English speaking countries. There was nothing like Queen Commonwealth Trust. This is mostly social thing, and it was, I don't know if I can say that it was a kind of in the making, but when she handled the thing, okay, although the Queen is doesn't say much, I will grant her the fact that the credit that she observes a lot. So I think she observed many years ago that Harry was, I mean, the much more, let's say, relatable person in the family. Okay, he was, I mean, young people, everybody was attracted to Harry. So when she handled some of her social patronages concerning those countries where the heir or the second to the line could not even go to, he turned them into canopy. It is Harry who did the canopy thing. He gathered, because he saw that there was nothing productive about, it was a little bit dispatched. So he gathered all of them, and he said that, okay, he put them all under canopy for the Queen. Okay, so that's what he does. Okay, you give him something chaotic and he will make something good out of it. So that's what he did. So coming back to the talk, sorry, Sorry. So my shopping has just turned off. Okay, so let's move on. So Harry and Meghan had this talk about the social media, doing something good out of it. And the Sussexes also, they volunteered in LA. Everybody, okay, let's say that everybody in the Sussex squad saw that picture of Harry and Meghan, yes, in that school in LA, yes, handing food and some necessity, yes, for baby to baby. And baby to baby, yes, provides local families, okay, with and kids, living with uh, living in poverty, yes, with necessities. So you had diapers, whites, clothes, everything, baby to baby. It's all baby thing. So they were helping out. We know that, okay, they are part of the community. They have nothing to prove. They are part of the community, and this is something that Mega has always done, being part of the community. That's how she ended up with the home industry. Okay, her mom, who is a social worker, okay, is her stuff. She showed those things to her child, and her child just made them hers. So there is everything natural. So she's showing the same way to Harry. And yes, the charity has already distributed, they said, over 30 million item during the pandemic. I mean, 30 million item is not small at all. And so we knew that also because Omid reported that alongside family essential, the Sussexes also handed out a variety of school supplies, to an elementary school in LA. So then we have various publications around the world. This thing of a railroad, we don't care about them much. We don't care about them at all until they start chewing our face. Then we show out, and most of the time we show up. So we have many publications around the globe who reported, the engagement that Harry and Meghan they did and they're still doing, and you have more public figures who came out in support of Meghan, as she was advocating for that, for the right of people to vote. They came out. Gosh, it was a productive week. And a productive month too. And then we had that conversation with Gloria Steinem. Sorry, Mrs. Gloria. I will just say Mrs. Gloria. I don't want to, cheer down your name. So she had a conversation with Gloria. I know that Gloria was one of the most prominent figure in the 1960s. I remember that picture of her. She was standing next to a lady. A black lady. She had an afro, and they were, it was during that period where you had everybody. You had the Black Panthers. You had, and people were advocating, on the street for, civil rights. And it's also during that time that you also had, that, I mean, the picture itself was in black and white. And I remember vividly also the picture of the late John Lewis, being beaten up by police on the streets. I mean, these are the type of moments in history that, just are printed into your brain, and it just suffices of, something, a glimpse of something, and, just like this, everything comes back. So she had a very fruitful conversation with Gloria, and so Megan had a very fruitful conversation with Gloria, and they were talking about, yes, the what feminism means. And during that talk, we were reminded by Megan that her husband, let's say, yes, let's put it that way, okay, that her husbands actually, we were told by Megan that her husbands want to remind us. I mean, when I say us, I mean everybody in the word that he has always been a feminist, okay? And there were some ignorant people, okay, asking themselves, but feminism is a female thing, really? Sometimes I'm asking myself, is it just the fact that some people they genuinely do not know, or is just the fact that misogyny has something big to play into the ignorance of some people? And I always tell myself, gosh, people are standing there talking about, feminism, or female only be good at the kitchen, and at cooking, and or into the kitchen. I'm just like, and to think that you are coming from a woman, gosh. Sometimes Tina said, oh gosh, sometimes she said that it would have been better that the person who brought you into this world should have swallowed it. Gosh, the squad will kill me. Oh god. Ah, okay. So anyway, whatever people said during Megan's advocating for the voting or for the right to vote received a backlash. All those people received a backlash. So mostly a David Simon, I didn't know who that guy was, but I saw most of his tweets, and a highly educated person, and the fact that he was replying, you could feel the slap in each of his messages. And no, you had this trash blowing gossip mongers, okay, who wanted to keep up with him. But the bar, the bar that this trash blowing put in UK is so low that to have someone replying to you, what did they do? Most of them blocked blocked him, and most of them went on vacation for a while, maybe gathering to to see what will be the next move. I just don't know, and actually we don't care. Yes. So I think that yes, in the meantime there were so many other things going on, and what I would like to say is that we were treated, during August. We had our faves, moved in a new, I mean, in their new home. We had people backing up Megan. We have had the trash blowing revealing themselves on a global stage while attacking Megan. I mean, that was great. There are so many other things to come. So I would like to thank everybody who until now are still listening. It's a monthly update, guys. If I start cutting everything, I won't feel be myself, you know. It's and mostly when you have two people, a couple who is working on a daily basis, okay, we have things to report on. At least we have some substance, okay, to talk about. Because if it was just for me to just sit here and doing a monthly review of what Megan has won, I can't even think about that idea because it makes me feel stupid. But hey, to each on his poison. This is not mine, definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I had in content for today, and so thank you very much. Yes, for the new subscribers, for those who are encouraging me every time, for the positive comments. Thank you so much. I have noticed that I am posting more success things that cooking and traveling. Gosh, uh, actually, I have to drag Greg because he has made some videos when he was away, because I was actually he went on vacation, so I was too busy to go with him. So he made some videos when he, while being away. So we'll try to gather most of them and post it. Please, I will be looking forward to your comments. Yes, and also, by the way, gosh, I had this thought at the beginning, and then it comes back at the end. The sad news this past 3 days was the fact that Chadwick Boseman passed away. I have always usually I am good at actors' name, mostly faces, and I like his acting. I really like his acting. I don't remember how many times I've watched Black Panthers. When I came across the news, I came across the news under an MSNBC because I try to to listen to what is going on in US. So I went through the comments, and I saw someone said that the last that I mean, I think it was the first or the last Black Panther. And immediately I was thinking about Black Panthers in the 60s. I was just like, what? Who can it be? Because is this someone that I heard about? And then I started seeing his pictures popping out everywhere. I was just like, oh, wait. And then I saw actor in Black Panthers. So, oh gosh, that's why the comments were talking about the last or the first Black Panther. You know, gosh, what I can say is that he went to rest. I'm not talking about his age, because he was a young man. He was just 43. I'm talking about the pain in fighting cancer. He doesn't suffer anymore. So I prefer to see the good side of it, because I know what it is. So guys, like we say, yes, like he used to say, Wakanda forever. I don't want to go into a long talk because it will be useless. Just a thought of him, and for those that he left behind, that he came to me always as a wise man. So I am sure that he made sure that it will not be too painful for people who were close to him. It helps a lot. So guys, thank you again. And stay safe, and please give us a thumbs up. Yes, keep subscribing, share the video. Please, I'm looking forward to your comments. I like to reply to you guys. And thank you again, and bye bye. Yes.